Good evening, and welcome to HBCU Delaware Talks. And thank you for allowing me, we to be in your living room this evening, talk about some good old historical black colleges and university information. And I'm excited tonight because we have a packed house. I am so proud of these students here. These are students that are going to be on the show from Brandywine School District. These students here all were accepted at the HBCU initiative put on by Historical Black College University Delaware Coalition and the City of Wilmington. And I'm thanking you, first of all, Mr. Mayor Mike Pazicki, Ashley, Earl Cooper, Tanny, thank you all for allowing this to work. And now look what we have. We have students here from Brandywine. We wanted to get more students. However, I do work in the Brandywine School District. So I asked that we have represented Mount Pleasant, Concord, and Brandywine students. And thank you for coming. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
Good.
How are you? I'm excited. I'm so happy and proud of you all for your accomplishments and your growth and what you're doing in the community, in the school district, in the state of Delaware. Without you, it wouldn't be us. So, you know, for sure, because we wouldn't be able to have students to teach. But I'm glad that you all are doing really good things in the schools. Obviously, you're making the grades, and you're obviously going to school every day. And we want to talk about some of your good things that's happening in school, some of your challenges, what you expect in the college. What are you doing to prepare for college? Talk about your SATs or ACTs and what's going on. But before we even go there, I ask that you introduce yourself in your own way, starting with you.
I'm Rabia Lighty. I go to Concord High School, and I'm known for being the cheerleader. Yeah.
My name is Devon Davis. I go to Mount Pleasant High School, and I'm just a skinny, energetic guy.
My name is Lennox Nemort. I go to Concord High School, and I'm a football player.
My name is Keena Saunders. I go to Concord High School, and I'm just me.
My name is Madison Williams, and I go to Brandywine High School, and I'm just Maddie, like, just Maddie.
My name is Amparo Dixon, and I go to Brandywine.
I'm Taryn Richardson, and I go to Brandywine.
I'm Trelise Lanier, and I also go to Brandywine, and I am a cheerleader too.
Welcome to the show. You don't know how proud I am. I went to school years ago, Norfolk State, back in the 80s. and it was like only $8,000 a year. It's really astronomical now. It's expensive for you, and just for your perseverance thus far, it shows a lot, you know. So, I'm like I said, I'm excited and I'm happy for you. You said that you're a cheerleader at what school again?
Concord High School.
Concord School. You have a blue shirt, HBCU shirt on. Yes. And what school were you accepted at?
I was accepted to DSU and Virginia State, but I want to go to Morgan State. They weren't doing on-site acceptances yet, so.
Ooh. How about you?
I was accepted to Lincoln University. I was gonna apply to more, but I only had one transcript and one set of SAT scores.
Okay.
I was accepted into Lincoln University.
Lincoln University?
Yeah.
I got accepted into Virginia State University, Dell State, and Norfolk.
And what's the third one?
Norfolk.
Norfolk State, okay.
I was accepted into Lincoln University.
I was accepted into Norfolk, Cheney, and Virginia State.
Awesome.
I was accepted to Virginia State, Lincoln University, and Cheney University.
I was accepted in Cheney University, Norfolk State, and Virginia State.
Virginia. And you know, it's awesome because I mean, once upon a time, a lot of HBCUs wasn't even promoted in Wilmington. And just to see the faces that know about historical black colleges and universities. I'm telling you right now, once you attend an HBCU, you are going to have the time of your life. It's a wholesome campus. You're going to really know your professors. It may be no more than 17 of you in one classroom. So they're really going to know who you are. They're not going to know you by your social security number. They will know you by name. Now, there are challenges at HBCUs. Such as financial aid lines, we get it. But that's a part of the perseverance because understand, once you receive a college education or a college degree, it's the proof that you can complete a long-term project in spite of. Now you think about from K through 12, you are in the process of completing a long-term project. In spite of sometimes even when you wake up and go to school, you're not feeling well, but you persevere and go on to the next level. So all that's happened between kindergarten and 12th grade right now, I'm telling you it all adds up. And then it gets even harder. So don't get me wrong, HBCU, college education, you are going to work. It's not going to be that easy, but you're going to enjoy it. You're going to find out who you really are. Some of us are still searching to find out who we are, what we like to do, how we're going to be, how do we speak in front of other people. You know, we go through a lot of different changes as we are growing up. And most of you are probably about, what, 16, 17 years old?
17.
17? Just learning how to drive a car. How many of you driving? Oh my.
I got license.
You have your license?
Yeah, I got license with that.
Awesome, awesome. So you're going. Some of you may go to college and have a car on campus. I know when I didn't have a car. I didn't have enough money. Parents wasn't giving me a car. So some of you get an opportunity, but now you really have to be focused. You want to try to get to college, get out in 4 years. Basically, you want to get scholarships. There's a whole lot of scholarships out there. And the gentleman that's going to come on, he's going to tell you about the financial aid process, about scholarships that occur in college, things that you can get like work study, you know. One of the good things about you, let me ask this question, how many of you are actively involved in school? Some of you said you're cheerleaders and athletes. What else do you do in school? And actually, everybody, you can just join in on the conversation. You said that you're just a skinny kid where? You play any sports?
I ran track last year.
Did you really? Awesome.
My first year, it was something. It was definitely something. It was definitely a different experience. I was tired all the time.
Really? What about you?
Throughout high school, I've had 3 jobs, 2 at a time for like 3 years.
Wow.
And I went to school freshman and sophomore year. I did track and field hockey. And this year I do just a tiny bit of senior board.
Senior board? Mm-hmm. What is senior board? I'm sorry.
They help out with like prom, homecoming, stuff like that.
Or really being on a committee. Any of you in student council, student government? What is that like now? I was in student council years ago, but it's probably different now. Tell me a little bit about student council.
I really enjoy it. It's nice to come together with different people and give your ideas and try to help raise money for your class, do different events for your class. And like I said, I really enjoy it. I think it's something that somebody that wants to be a leader should definitely do, and it's a great way to get involved with your school.
Awesome. How about you, Trilise?
Well,
She said she made that face my daughter do something.
I'm just a cheerleader. I'm an avid too, so
Avid?
yeah.
Awesome.
So.
How many of you are in Avid? Avid's. What do you do in Avid? What is Avid? I have no idea what Avid is.
Avid is a great college preparation program for getting you scholarships and making sure your transcripts are in order and make sure you're doing everything you need to do in class. And I'm an Avid. I'm actually here with my Avid teacher right now.
Where?
She's in the back.
Oh, we're going to bring her on. You think she'll come on? So
Yeah,
she can talk?
she definitely would.
She will come on?
Uh-huh.
Avid teacher, you're coming on the show when we go to a break. Okay? But Avid, what is it? AVID.
Advanced
acronym.
via individual determination.
Wow. So you all are determined to go to college. Listen, go to college. It's going to be one of the vehicles to help you become successful. Don't get caught up in worried about how much money you're going to make once you graduate from college. It doesn't matter. It matters that you continue to work. Besides, you know what? Money right now, money is a root to evil. I mean, we all want it. We sure want materialistic values, but you want that education to use as a vehicle. Don't get caught up into not working into your subject area. By the way, when I think about subject area, what field of study are you interested in? And just go down the line and tell me. She's going to need the mic. Go.
I'm not really sure, but my top is either psychology or I want to be a dentist.
A dentist? Oh my. It's like.
Like Trelise, I'm not really sure what I want to stick with, but I plan on either doing journalism or law.
I want to major in nursing.
Nursing.
Yes.
I want to be a nurse at a children's hospital.
Oh, nice.
My plan is to major in sociology and minor in law studies then go to law school after college and become a family and divorce lawyer.
Awesome.
So far, I plan to major in biology sciences, and I'm not sure what I want to do after.
Really?
Yeah,
Biology?
so-
Okay.
so-
I want to major in communications. I'm not sure which field yet, but I just know that's what I want to do.
Communication?
Yeah.
Good. Might have to bring you on the show to be a host.
That'd be-
You two understand you on the radio.
That's crazy because I want to major in mass communications too to have a talk show just like you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you can practice here.
Yeah.
If I get more funding, listen, I need funding. So if we get funding, we can utilize the students on the talk show. Because, I mean, this is who it's for. It is for you. It's for the community. It's for you to get an opportunity to share or spread your knowledge and what you do. We in Wilmington, you know, if you know what's going on in Wilmington, it's a lot of crime. There's a lot of murders going on, you know. So I bless God and thank God for you all that you all are doing the right thing. You know, a lot of kids are out there in the streets and they're shooting because of their lack of skills, such as reading. A lot of kids, they don't read on grade level. And when they're not reading on grade level, they can't really see the big picture, you know. But I thank God for you. And maybe there is some students out there looking, saying, you know what, I want to go to college. You know, and just by you being on TV and us seeing this, it's a motivational tool. So I appreciate you. I'm going to go to a commercial and bring a couple other folk on here. So please, whatever you do, don't touch that dial.
Tri-State, are you ready to take it back to the...
Man, listen, they didn't put, I'm sorry, wait, welcome back to the show. We have a little fun on the show, and because we really want to be relaxed, and we just want to get some information out and let people know that, you know, being on television. This is good stuff, you know, and it's good for us. We have a Q, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated from Virginia State University on the show, Mr. Robert Adams. He's here to really tell you a little bit about Founders Day.
Founders Day.
I don't know if you all know anything about fraternities, sororities, but Mr. Robert's going to tell you about the fraternities, maybe some of the sororities and what they have to offer. He's also one of the persons that, or you are the person that takes care of the application fee process. So welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you for having me.
And make yourself at home. You know, we talk about good old things, whatever. It's on your mind. How you doing?
Well, I'm glad to be here. And as you said, let's talk about Founders Day first. So
Sure.
Omega Psi Phi Fraternity was founded on November 17th, 1911. And so as you know, tomorrow marks our 106th anniversary.
Wow.
And so that's why I'm promoting the show with SWV, John B., and comedian Buck Wild. So we're celebrating our 106th anniversary for Omega Psi Phi.
Wow.
And I can tell you, I used to sit just like all of these young lads and ladettes, and I knew nothing about fraternities or sororities when I got to college.
Sure.
In fact, I was probably one of the first ones in my family to go away to college. And the thing that impressed me most about a fraternity and sororities was the bond that they developed, and how it really enhanced their college life and their learning experience. And so, so I actually pledged in '84 at Virginia State.
Look at that face.
Yeah, I know, '84. I know. None of your mamas thought about y'all. But 84. So I pledged in '84, but I've been heavily involved in Omega Psi Phi because it really changed my life. It really helped me to grow. And I always tell people that when you go to college, college is about growth. You know, yes, you're going to get an education and learn, but it's that time in your life that you'll learn how to balance life, you know, and you really grow up. So when I went in as a freshman versus coming out as a senior, I was ready and prepared to make a difference in society. So that was my time at Virginia State, and I'm still involved. I still go back. In fact, I have a show at Virginia State on December 8th.
Wow.
With SWV, Stokely Williams, and Silk, and that's really around graduation, and New Side Chapter, which is a chapter that I pledged at Virginia State, celebrates its 90th anniversary. So so again, I'm still involved in the chapter there. I'm involved in the chapter here for New Upsilon, and it's really been a great experience.
You know, and like you said, one of the things that you're going to experience is the bond. At an HBCU, you will bond with someone. And you're going to just grow, and you're going to be like, wow. And you're going to go back to those homecomings and be like, wow. And I'm saying these are lifetime friends.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And what happens is that some of you may go away to college, and you may not come back and live in Delaware. You may live California somewhere. But you're going to meet someone that's a doctor, a lawyer. You're going to meet someone that's an engineer. One of your roommates may be a dentist. And you're just going to have that bond. Then that's going to be somebody you can reach out to and share your story with the next generation, because you're going to be in this seat eventually, and you're going to be doing the same thing for other kids. You know, that's what it's about. It's about growing our community, and because of you all, we can. And because of you all, even being here tonight, kids are looking at it like, you know what, we can do this. It's going to take all of us. In fact, one of the things I like to see happen is that we don't break this bond with the students that were accepted. We would like to maybe this summer do something for you before you go away to school, like even come together and have a barbecue.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
and just to share what you all have. I'm proud of you and your Brandywine School District students as well. So I really want you all to be successful. And when you say your name is Lennox, I know your daddy. When I thought about it, when I just thought about it, when I used to work for the city of Wilmington. So yeah,
You do.
boom, it just came upon me.
Yeah.
But as far as the application fee, and we're going to speed this up a little bit. You say you take care of applications?
Yeah. So one of my fraternity brothers, Rob Mason, he lives in Atlanta. He started the Common Black College application, and what it entails is that it's one application that goes out to 51 historically black colleges and universities.
Sure.
And so what we've been able to do is to get them in many aspects to pretty much waive their application fee and pretty much allow more of historically black colleges to accept our students into them, giving them another opportunity for college. And so what I wanted to do with my company, R Entertainment and Productions, is to make sure that I pay the fee.
Awesome.
So I want to help keep HBCU doors open, but I want to help students like all of you to be able to get into HBCUs so that we can keep the HBCU thing alive.
And HBCUs are relevant colleges, so it's very relevant. And you're going to be someone. I mean, I'm just like really excited. You don't understand how excited I am for you to even be on here talking about historical black colleges and universities. Because once upon a time when I was in school, I was in 1978, I was at Wilmington High School. Then I was bused, we had bused, and I was bused out to McCain. And they didn't really talk about historical black colleges and universities. I was at a school when I was in high school, at Wilmington High, it was like 90% black and maybe 10% Latino. But then when I went out to McCain High School in 1979, it was 80% white and 20% black, okay? And with that, it's like, it's just, the transition and the turnaround was, it was crazy, you know, and we wasn't, I mean, they wasn't looking at historical black colleges and universities. They were then looking at survival. How I'm gonna survive out here at this school? You all grew up already bust out to different schools. In fact, when I think about that, tell me, what is it like at Brandywine, Mount Pleasant, Concord? Give me some idea as far as you being African American students at these schools. What is it like for you? You say you attend what school?
Mount Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant. What's it like for you every day at Mount Pleasant?
Honestly, it just depends. Like there's a lot of groups there, and like a lot of families, and like nobody. I mean, our school doesn't really suffer from like bullying and all that kind of stuff, because a lot of people just come together, or a lot of people just keep the things to themselves. But like me, like in my AVID class and stuff,
Sure.
like we're definitely like a family, and I'm definitely like really close since it's 4 years, and you know, I just feel definitely like connected to a lot of these people.
Didn't you tell us to bring your AVID teacher? I'm sorry. I will be bringing age. Tell me about what school do you attend? I'm sorry again.
I attend Concord High
Concord.
School.
What's it like for you every day at Concord?
Oh,
Being an athlete as well.
it's very. I like the school. It's very mixed, like race-wise. Like it's all.
Diverse.
Yeah, it's very diverse.
It is diverse.
Yeah, and it's split up, but everybody's also like together at the
Really?
same time. Very supportive of
You
all
all
the
going to the
athletes and
prom?
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just checking.
As long as the music doesn't suck.
I'm sorry?
As long as the music doesn't suck.
It's okay, I got you. And you're at Concord as well? Mm-hmm. Okay. What's it like for you? Female. African American female at Concord.
I'm pretty much to myself at school. I don't really like talk to a lot of people. So, but I know it is pretty diverse. It's not a lot of like bullying that goes on or anything. It's, you know, nothing crucial. So.
What's one of your challenges?
Well, I'm originally from Jersey, and I came to Concord sophomore year, and what I noticed was that, like, they were surprised that I was in, like, the smart classes. My classes, I was in classes with mainly white people, and it was, like, just me. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of shocking being the only black person in a smart class.
Yeah.
And I go to Concord, by the way.
Is that IB or Mount Pleasant has the IB?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Honors?
Honor classes, AP classes.
AP, okay. Tell me about your school. What's it like? And you're at what school?
I'm at Brandywine.
Brandywine. What's it like for you at Brandywine Daily?
Brandywine is nice. It's diverse. Like
Diverse. Okay, I hear a lot of diversity. Yeah.
it's not a lot of like people. Like everybody's friends with everybody. Like everybody mixes well with each other. So it's a good experience. And I feel like our school's grown over the years. It's got better in some ways. And I really like it there. I got a lot of friends. I got friends on the show with me.
Awesome. Tell me about your school.
I knew you were going to do that. I like Brandywine. I think it's a good school. I do take challenging classes, so I go into school and I'm expecting to work because that's what I'm there for. I'm expecting to learn, and yeah, it's good.
Good. Tell me about your challenges, if any.
Okay, so some challenges that I have is definitely with trying to stand out and be like that student, because it's like I take AP courses,
Sure.
which is mainly you think white people, but it's not that many black people in a course, so I automatically feel the need to like excel in that class. So that's just some of the challenges that I may face.
Tell me, Trelise, what about your challenges, if any?
Well, Taryn basically said it. Like, I'm in AP classes with mostly white people, and we do have to work a little bit harder because we're not known for, like, I mean, we are, but like a lot of people think down on us, so we do have to excel a little bit more.
So when you say AP classes, and you say white people, or listen, the brain, it doesn't have a color. Trust me on that one. But it does have a lot of great matter, especially mine. But when we think about it, you see more of the European culture in your classes, so to speak.
Yes.
Because there are some supernatural brains in the African American race, and I know that. And sure, it's challenging, but are you up for the challenge? Because once you go to an HBCU, it'll be a little more African American. I don't know now. Come to think of it, when I think, it may be a little different now because they're pretty much mixed now.
Right.
You know, so
Right.
you know, but you're up for the challenge. I'm telling you, you can go far. You're going to soar. You know, in spite of, and that's one thing we have to become really serious about. In spite of what you look like, in spite of how you talk, in spite of how you smell, we have to really begin to support one another. In spite of, you know, and that's what this is all about. Diversity is huge because right now we're in a global economy, and with a global economy, we have people all over the world: Asian, Black, white, Hispanic. So all over the world, we're going to be working together with them. So we have to really begin not to seek color. We have to, and not to let color be a barrier. We can't look at black, white. We have to begin to look at wrong, right. You know, so, you know, I don't give you black, white, or Hispanic. Wrong is wrong and right is right. And you know what? Always, if I'm gonna give you this advice, always be nice in spite of. Be nice. And I know that's hard, but that's a challenge. And I say that because I'm telling myself too, I gotta be nice in spite of what people say. You know, I'm going to go to a quick break, and I want to bring your Abbott teacher on for a moment so she can talk about some of this good old Abbott stuff, okay? You know, as I call it Abbott stuff. I'm sure Miss Mitchell at Tally wouldn't like me saying it that way. Well, hold that thought and don't touch that dial.
Ready to take it back to the 90s? Our Entertainment and Production presents a Founders Day celebration featuring SWV, John B, and comedian Buck Wild, performing live Friday, November 17th at the Chase Center on the riverfront in Wilmington, Delaware. Hosted by Karen Vaughn of 100.3 WRNB. Tickets on sale now. To purchase your tickets, go to repconcerts.com.
Welcome back to the show. Thank you for allowing we to be in your living room this evening. I am so sorry Miss Pritchett is here. And she's an AVID coordinator at which school?
I'm an AVID teacher.
AVID teacher.
At Mount Pleasant High School.
Mount Pleasant.
Yeah.
Sorry, Miss Pritchett. I apologize. How are you?
I'm good.
Welcome to the show. What is AVID all about? They kind of gave me the little pieces, but can you
explain what AVID is? I
Yeah.
would love to. So AVID is a pre-college program. So it was originally started, I believe, back in the 70s, I believe,
Okay.
or maybe the 80s. I'm not 100% sure. But the purpose is to get more minority students to college. So it is an elective course that students take in middle school and in high school. So we focus on academic study skills. We focus on SAT preparation. We focus on applying for scholarships, trying to get financial aid, and basically helping students get the support that they need over the course of their high school career.
Wow, that's it in a nutshell. And so because of AVID and introducing the historical black colleges, universities,
Yes.
not only that, but PWIs to the students, look where we are. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So what else do you do at Mount Pleasant?
So I also teach English at Mount
English.
Pleasant High School.
Let me be careful the way in which I speak.
You're
Good.
fine.
So you're an English teacher at Mount Pleasant High School. What's it like for you being an African-American female English teacher?
That's an excellent question. So it's not many other people out there like me. So that's one thing. So I feel like I'm pretty rare, and I'm sure Devon can speak to that. But I think being an African American female English teacher allows me to bring more diversity to the staff. But I also think that it allows students to have an excellent role model to see that they wouldn't see otherwise. And that's even for the white students as well. I don't feel like they get to see even a young black female
Sure.
teacher who brings that level of diversity. I know I code switch often between black English and regular English, which they don't often get to see. I get to pull pieces into the classroom that their other teachers probably are not doing. For example, right now in Devon's English class, we're reading "Their Eyes Are Watching God," and they talk a lot in dialect and slang. So the students are like, "Oh my God, this is a lot." But who else is going to expose them to it if I don't expose them to it? So it's good for me to do that, but it's also good for the students to get that experience.
Awesome. Awesome. Wow. Well, I'm glad for you, and I'm happy for you being in Mount Pleasant. And it's good for an African American ELA teacher. I mean, that's good for the district. It's good to see these kids. You know, I'm excited.
It is.
We have to bring the AVID teachers on one day.
That's a good
I don't want
idea.
this relationship to end. I want it to go forward. I want us all to really be able to come in and take advantage of opportunities. I'm going to say that I appreciate you all for coming out. Is there any last words that you all want to say to encourage a student that may not be or may not have been accepted to an HBCU?
Retake SATs.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry too. We'll talk one more thing too after you go ahead. After that.
I would just say stay focused. As long as you're determined, then you'll be successful. If there's one adult that you need to find that can like push you and help you, then do that if need be.
Yeah.
And also, don't be scared to be yourself. Like, if you're smart, don't dumb yourself down just because the people around you aren't where they're supposed to be at or where they can be at. So,
Just work hard. Like something's gonna pay off eventually. Hard work doesn't go unnoticed.
Work hard. Good. Good.
I say just to challenge yourself and take yourself to another level. Just do your best.
Along with what Imperial was saying, challenge yourself and definitely believe in yourself because you can do it despite of where you come from, your background, what people may tell you. You could do anything that you put your mind to.
I would say just push through all your failures. Like, you're going to have failures in life. Just push through no matter what and don't give up on yourself.
Go ahead.
I would say if you know what you want to do in life, make sure you stick with it and don't let anybody like steer you away from your goal.
Good. You know, this is the first opportunity I've had. And I've been in Brandywine now for I think 8 years, maybe 9 years, I'm not sure. But I first opportunity I've had to sit down and talk to high school students on the talk show and about your future aspirations. I was really, really so happy and excited when City of Wilmington and HBCU put on the HBCU initiative in Wilmington, and we saw so many students that came out, and you all are there. Now you had the first part. Now the second part is get that money.
Yeah.
So one of the
That
things,
helped my mom
one
out.
of the things that we're trying to do as HBCU Delaware Coalition is generate scholarship money, and we try to generate scholarship funding for kids like yourself. So it's going to need. Sometimes we have different alumni chapters, such as like Norfolk State, Hampton. We all have alumni chapters that take care of the book scholarships, try to get tuition scholarships. But I'm looking at those scholarships like you may be in a dorm without a meal card. You may be down there and you can't wash your clothes. You may have a sick parent here and you're away from home and you can't get home. So we want to generate scholarship money for you all to have. And make sure you have all the necessities that you need while you're away in school. Because we need you to survive. We need you all to be successful so we can retire. One of these days we're going to have to retire and you all are the future leaders. So always get to leadership programs and be the leaders in your school. All right? Treat people how you want to be treated. Do the right thing. Handle your business. Thank you very much for coming on the show. Thank you. I'm sorry. I should have you on it from the beginning. But I thank you all. And listen, I'm coming to your graduation. I shall.
Oh, you're
You
going
have
to be there all
graduate.
day.
Yes. Yeah. I shall. And just to see, the scholarships and the things that you all are doing. I'm sure Dr. Holliday and Mr. Rolfe, who's the principal at Mount Pleasant?
Heather Austin.
Miss Austin and at Concord.
Miss McKinney.
Miss McKinney, I'm sure they're proud of you.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, I'm going to let you all bounce. Got it. All right, but no, thank you very much for coming on to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I'll keep you all in prayer often and always, and just keep doing in spite of. Reach out to me. I'm at Tally Middle School, so we could look and keep reaching out for funding because we're trying to find funding for you all. And like I said, if I said something about a barbecue this summer, we're going to do it.
We're going to take you up on that.
Yes.
I'm not going to forget.
And
I
the
like
students
eating.
that will be coming home. So come to the parade. I would like for you all to be in the parade, if you can, okay? And that's November 25th, the Christmas parade, that Saturday. Let's come out, hang out with some of the college folk that'll be home that's going to march in the parade. And we're just going to do this right, all right? Thank you for coming on. I'm going to go to a break. Don't touch that dial. Welcome back to the show. Thank you for tuning in. We're sitting here with Brother
Umar Hassan L.
Hassan L. And we're going to talk about some of the good things as far as unity in our community. As we speak of education, as we speak of what's going on in the community, how we can really unite, because a lot of times we have different organizations such as HBCU, such as Black Lives Matter, such as Omega Psi Phi fraternity or sorority, Delta Sigma Theta, but we're missing that unity part. We're working in the silo part, and a lot of times it's because of our leadership within our organizations aren't connecting or making that connection because they're lack of. We don't know who they are. So I'm looking at the fact that it's now time for us to really join in together and work this out. We get caught up in how we look, how we talk, how we smell, how we think, instead of looking at us as a people beginning to grow our community. And if we don't do it, we're not going to grow. I know when Martin, back in Martin's time, the bus boycott, what they did, they what they say, to have a movement, you have to sacrifice. Mm-hmm. They sacrificed riding the bus then. Mm-hmm. I don't think that we understand right now the sacrifice that we have to make in order to grow our community. And I'm not just talking about our community, I'm talking about we as people. And one of the things that we have to sacrifice is our agenda. Mm-hmm. You know, people have personal agendas, mm-hmm. and that's why we're not growing together, you know. Mm-hmm. And if we could sacrifice our agenda and be on the same accord for the same purpose, mm-hmm. by any means necessary, I think that we can grow as a community. What do you think about that?
You know, we have to go back to the root cause of what you just described. And one of the aspects of the root cause is the Willie Lynch thing. When he came up this James River and saw the bodies hanging on the trees, and he told them that they was losing their commodities, or their commodities was us. He said, but I can train you to a way that will last for 100 to 1,000 years. And that's when he put us against each other. The light ones against the black ones, the darker ones, the tall ones against the short ones, the husband against the wife. So these elements are still existence because, you know, I told you on the phone the other night, when we started going to the historical black colleges, the curriculum there was no different than the curriculum in white colleges. And that when you graduate out of those colleges not knowing who you are, you go into somebody else. What do you mean by that? On my interfaith group, I said, you all who've told us about American traditions, most of those traditions are European traditions. So when we go to school, I had a guy when I went to college, named, I forget his name, couldn't talk him too fast, but he knew who he was. When I say he knew who I was, there's no such thing as a black or a white. There's no such thing as a colored or even a Negro. These were the names that these European governments gave to us. So when you go to school and you don't know who you are, like I heard the young children say, I'm the only one in the class, but I got to do better than the rest of them because I'm by myself. That was an attitude that was bestowed on us from the Willie Lynch thing, from the lack of the proper curriculum that dealt with us as a people and the condition that we came out of. So here we got a bunch of people. Professor Conjusi says, here we got a bunch of people who are graduated from major college and HBOs who don't know themselves, who are adopting a culture that is not productive for us. Like I told you on the phone, we need to evaluate what the pros and cons of us being incorporated or integrated into this society. And whatever it is, if you don't act like them, then you don't get ahead.
Let me ask that, or let me make this statement. Like those kids that were on the show, mm-hmm. they're innocent. Mm-hmm. You know, we have leadership out here that get caught up into how much money they make, mm-hmm. and we're not giving back how we learned how to make that money to the community. And those kids are suffering. There's no way that we can have organizations not operating as one. And small as Wilmington is, we're not operating as one. And it's because we have a cocky attitude, like, I know this, I know that. But our attitude is not inclusion. Our attitude is exclusion. And we exclude people out who we don't think are worthy. We exclude people out who are not in the know. We exclude so many of these people out, and then they pick up that mindset that, well, they don't want me to be a part anyway. Man, we are so strong, and we have so many skills and talents that we are not giving back to our youth.
Because we missed the point on what education is. I show you this book I got. It says religion is a sacred matter. Education is a sacred matter. We haven't been taught to go into colleges and universities to learn from a spiritual aspect that we're supposed to bring this back. In the beginning, that happened. Black Wall Street was created out of individuals who graduated from the historical black colleges. Why? Because that's what they were taught. The historical black colleges taught the independent thinkers in Africa at one time when Malcolm went over there and saw those people who were trying to get their people together based on the situation that we find ourselves in. A lot of educated people forget that they in the same boat that we're in, like the poor people. Like when you move out of the community, I told you, I live in the hood. I could have moved in the suburbs, but I've been protected more in the hood than I felt that I would be out in the suburbs, because at least in the hood, they got a chance to see back in the day, the doctors and the lawyers and everything when we was on the east side. So when we came from Poplar Street Project A to the west side, we lost all that love and feeling. It is no accident that the Underground Railroad spirit has been disseminated and destroyed in Wilmington, Delaware. And a part of that is that our leaders don't recognize how important education of self is. So their self is the money thing. And you said that earlier, and I heard you talking to a kid. You say, don't go to college with the concept that I'm gonna get an education to go get a job. White children don't go to college to go get a job. They go to college and come back and do Facebook and Twitter and all these other things. Until our community understands that education is sacred, and the sacredness is that you educate themselves to do for yourself. You can't do for yourself if you don't know yourself.
Let me ask you, and I'm black. How do we get into growth of our community? We're black people. We've been through some things, as every race has been through some things. We're gonna finish the race, but the deal is like, how do we get into spreading our love? Because we are not loving each other or one another as we should. And when we're not loving, we get into self, and then we become selfish. And our community is failing because of our selfishness instead of us loving. I don't know these kids that are shooting, they know each other, but somewhere along the line, the love of life was lost.
But because they've been miseducated, but what life is all about. Like I said earlier, life is not just growing up and getting an education and get a job. Life is looking at the environment that you were produced in and seeing the pros and cons, the good and the bad of it. I told you about this when I was talking to Dr. Maurice Pritchett. I said a good school, because I called myself an elementary educator. The good thing to teach is the two little voices inside of each of us. That one voice to tell you to do something incorrect, and that other voice that tells you to do something correct. What voice do we listen to when we don't take advantage of the opportunities to help our own community? Right. We listen to the voice that tells us, get the money, man, get the car, man, get the house, man. But we should be listening to the voice that say, hey, I'm an educator, I'm a leader. Let me see what not only can I do for myself, but what can I do for the whole community. We have lost that loving feeling that you just described because of the Willie Lynch syndrome.
When are we going to begin to, you see what's going on right now in our government. You see that we are fighting amongst each other. We're not caring about each other as we should. We are showing our frustrations to the public instead of going underneath of the table and say, look, let's figure this out. And it's like, I'm looking at some situations that are occurring. I read in the paper the other day, I don't know what happened in city council. I'm not that interested, but I understand that there was termination or resignation that happened. I don't know. But what I do know is that the newspaper took it. And the newspaper is putting it out there as if we can't handle our business. And we have to somehow look out for each other and begin to say, listen, I don't like what you're doing, but I gotta love you as a brother, so I gotta help. We gotta help each other get through this, because our youth is seeing this. And now they're fighting amongst each other. Lead by example, and we're not. And it's hurting because all the crime of these kids, they're pretty soon, our race will be extinct.
I'll say these two things real quick because I see we're running out of time.
Okay.
One of the things is that we've lost the spirituality that brought us this far. You know, you can't do nothing without the Lord. Without
You got
God.
that right.
And the second thing that we've done, we don't like being people of African descent. You know, most of the people I went to college with, I remember when one of them high school brothers got a first round draft pick, and I came back from Africa. I said, look, there's an opportunity in Africa. He said, I ain't going to Africa. See, we have been brainwashed to think that this culture that we've adopted and inherited is the culture that it goes for us. And my point again is we need to evaluate our integration into the dominant culture. What's the pros and cons of that? Because I say to the police and everybody else, the lawmakers, I say that integration into this society is the cause of our kids killing each other. And it ain't but 10%. Those children that you just had on this show is part of the 90% that are, quote unquote, and I hate to use this terminology, good kids. Good only meaning that they got a better idea of what they want out of life. Even if they don't know exactly what they want, they have some idea. Those kids in the penitentiary, because my thing now is penitentiary. 65% of those kids in penitentiary in Smyrna and these other cities, 65% of them are federal statistics that they can't read with comprehension. Whose fault is that? For me, it's the breakup of the Wilmington Public School District in 1979, when our children in the city became a minority in the 4 school districts, and that history that we got from Howard High School, black history from Bancroft, Delaware, etc., it was totally lost.
And that's why the HBCU Delaware Coalition is so important, because if you're HBCU, a college, alumni, we have too many graduates that are not coming back and going into the penitentiary.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
and teaching some of these guys how to read, how to count,
That's right.
and do the thing. We have to, and we have to get over our differences and grow with our similarities.
Yes.
And because our differences is what's killing us.
That's a lot of people I don't like, but I love them for the sake of God.
We have to.
And if we could, like you said the agendas. We got to drop these agendas. You're absolutely correct. The agenda, look, when I stopped hating white people, when I hated them, my whole life was in misery. But when I stopped hating them and recognized that it's a human problem, it's not a black problem.
No,
it's not a white.
no.
It's a humanity. And the first family is the human family. My whole life changed, and I'm able to talk to you like I'm talking to you now.
Awesome. And listen, this is, and we're running out of time, but this is just the first of us coming together and leadership. I challenge you leaders, or you say that you're leaders, to really come together and let's have these discussions together, not in our little silos.
That's right.
Because I can't hear you when you're talking in your silo.
That's right.
We have to come together. I don't have a problem if I get more money to generate money to come on the show and let's talk about these things. We're not doing it. This is the beginning. And we started with the kids. This is the beginning. But I thank you for tuning in, and this is just the beginning of a new day. Yeah. Thank you for all that you're doing in the lives of people. Thank you for coming on. This is just the beginning.
My pleasure.
Have a good evening.